Good evening. It is now 7 p.m. and I would like to start the meeting of the General Services Committees. Item 1 on the agenda, apologies for absence. I've received apologies from Councillor Lee Watson, with Councillor Cliff Holloway substituting, and also Councillor Coxall has sent his apologies this evening. Item 2, minutes. Do members approve the minutes from the meeting on the 23rd of September 2025?
Yep.
Those that were here. Okay, thank you. Item 3, declarations of interest. Does anybody want to declare a declaration of interest for tonight's meeting? No? Okay, thank you. Then moving swiftly on to item 4, Constitution Review, Executive and Council. Can I ask Dan Fenwick to introduce the item, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I don't propose to make a long introduction, as members will have had a lengthy discussion at the Constitutional Working Group about this, and if you review page 87 and 88 is a summary of the table showing the issues raised by the committee and how they've been dealt with in the papers before the committee. So the points of note from the committee and what has been changed, and I won't say anything more other than to see if there are any further questions or proposals from members, and also if you spotted any typos, that would be really helpful.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you for that. And just for the record, that Councillor Haldon is now here to substitute for Councillor Coxall. Sorry, we didn't know if we had anybody. So just for the record, that Councillor Haldon's now in the meeting. Does any member want to speak on this item? Councillor Morris-Cook.
Thank you, Chair. If we go to page 11 and to 4.8, please, under principles, and if you scroll down where it says, whilst no changes proposed the overview and scrutiny, if you go down about 2/3 down, it says evidence is presented by officers and officers.
Sorry, can you just tell me which page?
4. It's page 11, 4.8,
Yeah, okay.
and just about
5
6
rows up.
Oh, right, thank you. It says evidence is presented by officers and officers. Yep.
Sorry, is it page 11 of the rules?
Yeah. No, page 11 of the report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got, yeah.
So we've got principles. Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry a second, my page 11 doesn't have that. Oh, sorry, right, yeah, okay.
Go down to 4.8, which has got
okay, thank
where
you.
there's a hole in so you can't see it.
Yeah.
And then it's about 5 rows up from that, and it says evidence presented by officers and officers.
Oh, right, okay.
We're just, where it doesn't actually include portfolio holders at any point.
Yeah.
And I think portfolio holders should be involved, because most of the time we do attend and we are there to answer questions as well.
Yep.
Sorry, do you want-
Absolutely.
Do you want me to respond to that? I absolutely agree. As we know, the primary purpose of overview and scrutiny is scrutiny of the executive, and obviously the cabinet member is the member of the executive for that particular area or number of areas, and usually they would lead on any overview and scrutiny questions supported by officers. So I'm quite happy to make the changes if the committee wish to emphasise that or make sure that that's covered in the rules.
Do we agree with that? That we think that, yeah, absolutely. I think it's important to put the onus on the cabinet members to be there. Okay, thank you.
Then if we move to page 14, just above the 4.19 in the box, it's talking about residents' petitions, but it doesn't mention any, shouldn't it not say residents and members' petitions? And I do think if we are moving to all petitions going to Cabinet, that there should be something, maybe a note at the following council meeting that just reads out a petition was raised by so-and-so, so all of the other remaining councillors are aware that these petitions have been raised.
Could it go on the order paper?
That's a very good suggestion. If members agree, we can add that to what the content of the audit paper should be. I'm personally absolutely happy with making those changes. I mean, it's a bit semantics whether it's most petitions are obviously signed by residents and presented by members, but happy to clarify either is fine.
And there's just one other page where it does just talk about petitions at council meetings, and I can't remember the page number because I didn't have a thing on it. So just talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds. I think I'm getting there. Sorry.
Come back to you, Val.
Yeah, come back to
Shall
me
we
when I...
move on? Then we'll come back to you. Councillor Holden.
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Daniel, for the reports. Page 13, box 6.7, Deputy Cabinet Members. The paragraph ends, in response to comments raised by the Constitution Working Group, Deputy Cabinet Members cannot hold any...
I queried that one myself.
Oh, sorry.
No, I haven't. No, I was about it.
Sorry, let me just...
The sentence just ends at cannot
Yeah.
hold any
Sharp objects.
mangoes.
It would either be, certainly shouldn't participate in scrutiny of the area that they're covering and or cannot make any hold any decision-making powers. Sorry, my mistake.
That's right. 4.24. I'm a bit worried about this commentary that keeps on seeming to be seeping in about the relevance of full council, the effectiveness, comments that some councillors don't always speak. Structure can't fix culture. In no organisation can structure fix culture. There are always going to be some people who contribute in different ways. There are always going to be some people who contribute less. Or in my case, there'll be some people who contribute at tremendous length but don't actually achieve a huge amount. I think we need to veer away from this idea that you can produce better results if you constantly tweak the structure around it. There are always going to be some councillors who get elected, and then after their 4-year term, you frankly wonder to yourself, did they ever actually exist? And you get that from across the political divide, and I don't think we're going to fix that by tweaking the constitution. One of the comments in here about themed meetings, I think one of the mistakes that we made 3 years ago was removing portfolio reports from full council, because we essentially did have themed meetings when portfolio holders had to present the state of their department at each full council. And those meetings end up becoming themed by osmosis, because the portfolio holder for education would usually go in the July.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, most of July became focused on education issues, and it really held cabinet members to account. We took that out of the constitution, I think, in 2022 or 23, and I think it's been a pretty retrograde step since. So rather than trying to embark on things like themed meetings to prompt interaction from people who are simply disinclined to involve themselves, maybe it would be better to focus on what could be done to better enable people who do contribute to contribute in the most sensible way. And I think portfolio reports, which were introduced in 2010 or 2011, I think worked quite well, and I think it was probably a mistake to remove them.
Can I just come back on that one before you come in, just to say that, so I think that themed meetings do have a place in council, and I've already spoken to Councillor Maney to hold a themed meeting around local government reorganisation. I think that there should be, like presentations, there should be a major presentation on that. And then just last week I spoke to him about, incorporating the statutory change order into a themed meeting where it's not just a report that's presented, it's a presentation that's because we can't have this change go on to this council. I think people underestimate how much this is going to affect us as a council going forward. So a themed meeting would be a perfect place for us to have that meeting and just have that one dedicated item around, you know, Thurrock 3, 4 or 5, you know, what that means and how we get to that, because I think that it's going to go over some people's heads if we do not make a point of having a themed meeting to specifically look at that. So I think that themed meetings certainly do have a place in the future. I think that portfolio reports got overtook by lots of politics, which is why, you know, they become ineffective in the end. But that's something that's probably not for this meeting tonight. It's probably another discussion. But I certainly think that themed meetings do have a place. I don't know if Dan's got anything to say or anybody else, but I'm quite happy to have a themed meeting.
I think my only response is that isn't for members to debate. I have seen all different versions, and I think you're absolutely right. It's not the structure, it's the culture. So you can have, I've certainly seen lead member reports that are totally formulaic, don't leave open anything to questions, and then you don't get questions back. You know, I'm not saying that would happen here. So it really is about that cultural thing. And I think it is only one of the points about the number of, there are a number of members who don't speak. I'm not saying they have to. You can be a fantastic community ward representative, but not feel comfortable speaking at full council. It is it's perfectly possible to be different types of members. These are just some proposals and obviously have been debated, but really is for, this is something, there is really no right or wrong. It's about what you use what you want the meeting to be, to, you know, to be able to debate and discuss and make decisions about the things that affect residents in Thurrock and beyond. So, you know, really it's over to you on that. So, and obviously we have had a previous discussion at the Constitutional Working Group about this.
Councillor Holden.
Thanks, Leader. I think you're entirely right, Daniel. There is no right or wrong way of doing it. I think with regards to themed meetings, I think just calling additional full councils on specific subjects are the right way to go. By statute, we have to do it on certain occasions. When we looked at changing the electoral cycle a number of years ago, we had to have one meeting that had no motions, no questions. It was purely on the electoral cycle. I think the calling of more full councils is the more prudent thing to do. One thing I would observe after we had the 114 notice was during the period of the rest of that municipal year, the September to the May, I think I ended up chairing well over double the amount of full councils required. And slowly over time, you saw anger dissipate and name calling dissipate, and you saw more and more substantive questions asked. I think having more frequent occasions in the chamber enables better political debate, because rather than storing up problems, you provide greater release points. I think that more regular dialogue tends to lead to less explosive incidences, because there's less resentment that boils in between having fewer meetings. Equally, I'm sure Daniel could cite a number of councils that have full councils every 3 weeks that often turn into a bear pit, and yeah, I can see they exist as well. But I think we can achieve themed meetings, but I'm slightly worried that we've already pared down parts of the municipal diary as it is. I don't think that's very healthy. I think if we wanted to insert themed meetings on things like LGR, I think that democratic mechanisms already exist to call additional full councils on issues that the executive think are important, whilst maintaining a full and robust full council schedule as it is.
Does anybody else?
I've got.
Oh, Valerie's found what she was looking
I found what I'm looking for. It's actually on page 49, 22. And it says about being petitions submitted to full council.
for. Oh, that bit. Yeah, we found that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
So 22, section 22, petitions.
So that shouldn't be there, should it?
I think it's there because previously
Yeah,
they were at full council,
Yeah.
so somebody might look for where, so it could be something that we take away. Or
Yeah.
we could just take it away now.
Yeah.
But given, and what we might replace it with is that any petition submitted to the executive will be added to the order paper.
yeah.
It's a kind of slight sort of
Yeah.
hangover provision, that's all.
And just on going back to page 14, under 4.2, it says key decision threshold is included for approval. Threshold determines when a decision must be included in the full plan, therefore for 28 days notice must be given. And should we not just say if possible, because that's not always the art of the possible?
It is a statutory requirement.
Dan, do you want to put your mic?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
So I'm doing that again. It's a statutory requirement to give 28 days notice, and that's the purpose of the forward plan, is to give that notice. There are provisions to allow for decisions to be made in a shorter period, which are general urgency and then special urgency, and that's what we have utilised previously. But we've got no choice. Yeah.
And just the last one for me, I'm harping back to the extraordinary additional meetings. I still don't think, and it may be something we need to take to the next constitution, I still don't think having motions is the right way to go, because it doesn't give the right to reply. And just something I've thought about is if someone wants to do that, they present a paper that can then be debated upon. But I just think with the ones we've had where the motions, someone speaks and that's it. It's stilted. It doesn't give time for constructive debate. But we're not going to close it here. But I do think it's something we should look forward to, maybe in the next constitution, just to see what other councils do. It might be that the only route is motions, but I just don't. It doesn't allow for constructive debate.
Dan, did you want to come back?
Yeah,
Did you
no.
want to come?
In a way, that links back to that conversation you just had about themed meetings. So that might be so. The extraordinary meeting provisions are derived from statute, and I think the purpose of them is to allow smaller groups or a small group of members, not necessarily in the same group, to bring something to full council for debate. So that's why you have the 5 members, statutory rule about 5 members requisitioning an extraordinary meeting, because otherwise, a majority party could prevent any motions on a particular issue coming forward. My experience in a number of authorities is always done via a motion, simply because it provides a known structure, and obviously amendments can be brought to the motion. I am open to, and we can look at other ways of doing that, but we do need certainty, because obviously what the outcome of that would be a resolution of full council, and that has to be clear, certain and enforceable if it's within full council's powers, or if it's something that would then be referred to the executive to consider. So something that is uncertain, it is problematic for that reason, and also for members debating it is problematic because they don't know what to respond to or argue in favour of. I don't, I hear what you say, and I wonder if that's where whatever we call them, themed meetings have a purpose. And there is a way forward, which is the groups and members discuss in advance what would we like to discuss over the year, what do we think the big issues LGR are, and take those forward. But we do need to leave the facility, as has been exercised, for the things that come up in an unexpected manner that people think should be debated in full council.
Councillor Hartstein?
Thank you, Leader. It's page 83. It's around overview and scrutiny, and I don't know if it's just semantics, but I couldn't find anywhere there about questions, because at the moment, some of the chairs of the overview and scrutiny committees come to Cabinet and they will ask questions. I couldn't see anything in here about where that fits, because you've got 7.2, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, but none of them are questions. I don't know if it's just the wording of recommendations means questions, or I don't know. Thank you.
So questions of the chair of scrutiny coming to Cabinet, is that what you mean?
Yes, they will bring questions to Cabinet at the moment.
So what they should be bringing is the recommendations from the scrutiny committee's debate, which would then inform the cabinet to see how they do that. But it shouldn't really be additional questions to. I mean, I think we have a members' question section where people can ask cabinet members. That's separate from what is intended here, which is a matter has gone to scrutiny. It's come back, the scrutiny committee make recommendations that the chair then brings to cabinet to present to cabinet whilst it's making its decision, and so that really should be the outcome of that debate in the overview and scrutiny committee. But I thought what you'd meant was, and then our cabinet allowed to ask questions about those recommendations. So I think the members' questions issue, as in, is separate to that. But to add, if we wanted to allow chairs of overview and scrutiny to have a free right, there's a shaking of the head there, then obviously that's within our gift. But I don't think that's what we've discussed and agreed previously. But obviously subject to the agreement of the committee.
I don't think we need an extra one on that, do we?
No, all good, thank you.
Is that the only question you have?
Yeah, that's it, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions on this? No? So, okay then, I am going to move to the recommendations. So 1.1, for reasons set out in this report, the committee is recommended to approve the amended rules of the appendices for council for approval. 1.2, is that agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah. 1.2, following drafted sections of proposed new part 2 of the constitution decision making. 1.21. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll start again, okay?
You can just be calling now on the first recommendation I'll be voting against.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and then I'll move on to 1.2. The following redrafted sections are proposed new part 2 of the constitution decision making. 1.21, how decisions are made. 2.1. 1.2.2, full council introduction. 2.2. 1.23, council procedure rules. 2.2a. 1.2.4, executive leader and cabinet and executive procedure rules. 2.3, and 1.25, key decision threshold. 2.3a. Are those agreed? Everybody? Disagreed? Right, okay. If we can record. So everybody else agreed?
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Leader, perhaps just when officers come to prepare the municipal diary for the next year, just bear in mind some of the comments that we made about how themed sessions could slot into the municipal diary as additionality where possible rather than replacement. I don't think that needs a separate recommendation. That can just be.
Municipal diaries are due to go out to leaders for discussion in the next couple of weeks. So it will get picked up there, I expect. Okay. Thank you. That concludes the business of the meeting this evening, and I now declare the meeting closed at 7:48. Thank you.